Today marks 1 year since the first COVID-19 case was reported in South Africa. Herd immunity is unlikely with virus variants, and Ramaphosa warns the threat of the third COVID-19 wave is constantly present. These are the top coronavirus headlines from this week. We at African News Agency have been tracking the critical moments for you, and we've wrapped it up in 3 minutes. Today marks exactly 1 year since the first COVID-19 case was reported in South Africa. Since then, more than 1.5 million people have been infected and over 50,000 people have died from the disease. Patient zero was a 38-year-old male from KwaZulu-Natal who traveled to Italy with his wife. The couple were part of a group of 10 people and they arrived back in South Africa on the 1st of March. 2 weeks after his first symptoms, patient zero and his wife left the hospital and made full recoveries. Since the country went into lockdown on the 26th of March, we've seen, among other things, the level 5 lockdown, the banning of alcohol and cigarettes, the second wave, virus variants, and now the vaccine rollout. Government aims to vaccinate about 40 million people, or 67% of the population, to achieve herd immunity. However, a top vaccinologist said the notion of herd immunity is unlikely, as virus variants could evolve and build a resistance to the vaccine. Professor of Vaccinology at Wits University, Mardon, said the virus will undergo further evolution, which makes it even more resistant to the COVID-19 vaccines that are currently available. Herd immunity, or population immunity, is when a large part of the population of an area is immune to a specific disease. Mardon said that South Africa could also witness a resurgence of COVID-19 or its third wave in the winter months of May and June, as people are likely to gather indoors where there's poor ventilation. Here's what he had to say about herd immunity and virus variants.
We really need to recalibrate both the way in which we approach the COVID-19 pandemic, our response to it, as well as recalibrate our expectations of COVID-19 vaccines. The notion of us being able to achieve herd immunity, which is something that we were aspiring to just a few weeks ago, unfortunately, that is unlikely to materialize.
President Cyril Ramaphosa issued a stern warning to South Africans on Sunday night and said the third wave of COVID-19 infections remains a serious threat. This as he announced the country would move to alert level 1 of the national lockdown. The dominant virus variant in the country was largely responsible for driving the spike of infections during the second wave of the pandemic. Ramaphosa also spoke positively about the start of the country's vaccination campaign. Over 83,000 frontline healthcare workers have been vaccinated since the start of the rollout. That's 3 minutes. Tune in next week for another roundup of the top coronavirus stories.